Good morning. Happy Sunday. Oh my gosh, it's cold. I have double socks on. I have my blanket, my hoodie, but it's all good. I'm warm. And I got to tell you, I bought this lamp and it's like a cup holder, and there was these two notches in the cup holder, and I'll do a shot for my next video of it. And it's to hold my phone, and then it gives me really good light, a lot better than without the light. But anyway, welcome. Finally, part 4 of my 4-part series. It always happens to me whenever I plan something. It never goes to plan, but that's okay. Life is still good. Life is great. I just wanted to, part 4, here's a little more take on my van life experiences and things that I've learned and unlearned. I think that's more important than anything. But I'm here with my chai mud tea. Oh my gosh, it's like a mud coffee. I am so hooked on this stuff. I found some really good chai tea to mix with it, and whew, I'm in heaven. I just love that stuff. Tastes so good. So, number 1 is many people are going to think you're crazy. What? You're doing what? You're selling what? You're going to do what with your life? Oh, now get out of here. That's not safe. That's not good. You are nuts. You are crazy. I've had that said to me time and time again. And I just look at them and say, well, you're absolutely right. I am. I agree with you. Shut them down right there. Disagree with them. It shuts them down. Gives them nothing to argue with. And then just continue on with your journey. It is your life. It is your journey. If you choose to live the van life, car life, RV life, whatever it is, tiny home life, whatever it is, live it under your terms because it's your life. I always say, in the earlier days, I would say to one of my sons is, hey, look, you're not paying the way for me. So therefore, I'm a grown woman and I'm going to do this. And now, of course, my kids just all embrace it. They just already knew I was nuts. I'm a gypsy at heart. I'm a hippie at heart. And I just love the Lord and want to obey him. So I'm doing this. Another thing is, if you think you're going to fail at it, congratulations, you will. The mind is a very powerful tool. I do not like going into things thinking, oh man, I can't do this because this isn't going to happen that way, or, I'll never do good at it. Or you're absolutely right. You stop right there because it's done. But if you go into it looking like, oh, this is an adventure and there's going to be challenges and there's going to be some roadblocks, but I can overcome all of this, then you're good to go. So just follow your heart, and do what you know is good for you, and don't let fear control you. And that's my next topic, is fear. And I got my trusty notes. So what I did in the beginning is I had made a list, and I think Bob Wells touched on this years and years ago in one of his videos. So in my list, I'd written my fears, what's the worst thing that could happen, and what are some possible solutions? Because if you prepare for the worst and the worst doesn't happen, then it's like, oh, okay, this is good. I've spoke on this before. So one of my fears in the beginning was lack of money. I was under the impression you had to have thousands and thousands of dollars, and I'm sure it does not hurt to have that. But as for me, in my case, I was following what the Lord was telling me to do. And I figure if he's telling me to do something, he's going to make sure I'm okay and set up. So, but I did have worries, and I mean, they were like crippling fears of lack of money. So what the worst part would be, not being able to buy gas, not being able to buy food, not being prepared for emergencies. So possible solution to that would be to go find some kind of work. There's gig work. I could do temporary work. There's all kinds of jobs. Doesn't have to be a career because I'm long past that in my life. There's food banks if I was lacking food, churches that do help. And so, things like that. Oh, there's so many great groups on the internet, and another one, Bob Wells. I would tell you because that's someone I turned to when knew I was doing this type of life. They have Home on Will Alliance, and I hope I said that right. And I have read many, many wonderful stories of how they've helped people from tents to, getting them a tire because they had a flat tire, just to wonderful things. So, and also things like that. If you could donate a couple dollars, it's will help out someone who just has absolutely nothing. And the other part is breakdowns, because you know what, they're gonna happen no matter what. The worst scenario I played in my head was, and this is before I had extended warranty. I had a Kia Sedona, and she was a good little van, but only lasted not even quite 2 years, and she started dying on me. But it's like, I'm going to be stuck. I'm going to have no money to fix her. What am I going to do? For myself, my possible solutions were extended warranty, which I did get with this rig. Oh, that's a godsend, I'm telling you. Have a support group. That was one thing when I first started out, is people that knew how to, even if they were backyard, mechanics, they could wrench a little bit. They were able to, help if I needed a fuel pump, or, Google is really great at step-by-step helping you with that kind of stuff. You could go to your local auto parts store and they'll plug in that code reader for you. So get familiar and friendly with stuff like that, and just, educate yourself on learning just the basics, how to change your oil, how to change a tire, and again, family, friends, and churches. But make a list, and don't just make the list, but talk to them and say, hey, look, if I'm in Arizona and you're in Idaho, and I break down, what can you do to help me? And then be specific, then you have a plan, right? And I always say, expect the worst, and, pray for the best, and the good Lord's going to give you the best. So another thing with me was, what if I was in my 50s, so February will be 6 years, and in April, I'm going to be 61. So what if I become ill? What if I get sick? No insurance. How am I going to, get help? That was a big concern for me. And I really sat down with this and I wrote out preventative steps. Now, it doesn't stop sickness from coming. I had COVID twice. I thought Delta was going to do me in. Glory to God, it did not. I'm having this issue with my body's not wanting to retain vitamins and stuff, but I'm here and I'm living life. And what did I do? I changed my eating habits. I quit smoking years ago. I wish I would have never picked up that habit, but I did. And I did quit though. So I quit that. I take my vitamins. I try to walk daily. And I'm going to tell you, I'm so whatever. I could use every excuse, but number one, it's cold and I'm just super tired. I don't walk as nearly as much as I used to, and I love walking, though yesterday I got in an amazing walk. It was great. Wash your hands more often. This is, we're going into winter, so, try to avoid crowds, you know. Wear a mask if you're going into a store. The areas that are getting hit with the flu, just preventative measures, and that way it helps you stay on the well side and not the sick side. But also remember that if it's really serious, you could go to an ER, go to an emergency room, and they will help you there. I know here in this county, they have a wonderful program. So if you don't have insurance, you don't qualify for insurance, or you're just passing through and you get sick and you're at the hospital, it's called the Bridge program, and it's really great. I know people that had thousands of dollars of their bill paid for them, so it, I know for our really large hospital, they're not allowed to turn people away. So, yeah, if you're super sick, please do not sit there having a heart attack, stroke, or what have you. get taken care of for sure. Another one of my fears was getting assaulted. Um, and that was a lifelong fear of mine because of some childhood and early adulthood traumas that happened to me. And just the idea of being assaulted is the worst of the worst. But I really took control over that fear. Number one, always pray to God. He just takes away all those fears. It gives you ways to deal with them and to look at them differently, conquer them. So I'm always aware of my surroundings. As you'll see, especially if I'm sitting in the front, I'm always looking around. I just like to be aware of my surroundings. I'm always locked into my rig, always. Before I get out of my rig, if I go to the grocery store, I sit there a few minutes and kind of just look in my mirrors and kind of see what's happening. And then when I come out, I don't make a beeline straight for my van. You wouldn't even know that was my rig. I walk past it so I can see what's behind it and on the side of it. And then I go and get in and I lock the door. First and foremost, it's locked. So I that's just my thing. I just want to be safe. There's a lot of bad people in this world, but there's also really good people. But with that being said, I trust nobody. I don't trust strangers at all. I'm not thinking they're all out to get me. Trust is something that has to be earned. Never unlock your door for anybody. When I'm down for the night, my blinds are up. I'm doing whatever, watching a movie, writing, whatever. If there's a knock on my door, I already have it planned in my head. If they say, "Hey, Lane County Police," well, guess what? Hey, give me a minute. I'm calling your non-emergency dispatch. Could I get your name? And so they could verify it's you who's outside my door. If they are the police, 9 out of 10 times they're cool with that. If it's not the police, I would just take my chances and drive to the police station and they could have their lights on behind me because Gracie, don't play that. Okay? Got to be safe. You have to be safe, always safe. So just, follow your gut feeling. Man, that's the best intuition. I know I can only speak because I'm a woman, but I'm telling you, I have really, really good gut instinct. And my grandmother used to tell me all the time, that's God talking to you. Listen. So that's truth. Another one is loneliness, being without human contact. But some of the solutions is get out there and talk to people. I mean, you go to laundromat, at least talk to people. Go to the coffee shop, talk to people. You're at the grocery store, standing in line, just talk to people. I love talking to elderly people. I love talking to people that look like they could really use a hug, you know. But just, be cautious, but gosh darn it, talk to them. And then another thing is to secure your items. I have this subscriber who is really awesome. I wish I would have wrote down her name, but she suggested that I talk about strapping down everything that's in our rigs. Now, let me tell you, this is my home and I'm guilty of it. I used to use first nothing and then bungee cords, and now I use ratchet straps on everything because everything I have in here is a projectile. I might get hit by a car and that car hitting me is not going to kill me, but my tea kettle might. So just, ratchet it down, secure everything that you have down. If you want to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning for your next destination, well, then get up at 5 o'clock and have your coffee or tea. And hopefully the night before you got a lot of stuff already put away and, ratcheted down, and then do the final touches that morning. Then you're on your way and you're safe, right? So we just have to make sure that our rigs are safe. And I'm really, 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 really appreciate you mentioning that to me. You're awesome. Thank you. Last but not least, remember that opinions are just that. I get asked a lot, Gracie, how do you feel? You're a Christian. How do you feel about other people's beliefs and faith, and religions? And my answer is always the same, no matter what. I am not here to judge. I'm here to share the love of God. I don't care what gender, race, religion, no faith, lots of faith. I don't care what it is. That's not my job to judge that, and I don't want people to judge me. I just want people to look at me without me even mentioning a word and say, I don't know what's up with Gracie, but I want what she has. And that's a love of God. So, with that being said, God gives us choice. We could listen or we could walk away. If you don't like something, you don't have to sit there and listen to it and take it. And the same for other people. They don't have to sit and listen and take it from you either. So, you know, I don't have any idea how people got to where they're at in life. You know, God knows. And God will take care of it. And God places people where he wants them, you know. So, anyway, that's it. That's part 4 of my 4-part series on my van life stuff. I hope that you share, like, and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I really pray that the good Lord blesses each and every one of you. He knows your heart's desires. He knows your struggles. He knows. And he hears you. And he loves you right where you are. You don't have to do a darn thing. He loves you. And so do I. I appreciate you guys. Okay. If you could please, so definitely, maybe leave a little comment or something. It really helps with the algorithms. That way I could get the word of God out there more. That's my whole goal here. And I'm just happen to be doing it in a minivan. Okay, stay warm. And don't forget, help your neighbor out. Much love to all. God bless. Thanks. Bye.